Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Martino Puccio here, and this is a little bit of the different content that I was alluding to heading into this Serie A season. So I wanted to get on some of my favorite creators, commentators, or whatever the hell you want to call some of these people. But today is one of my favorite content creators that I've seen on TikTok, who's recently been exploding on TikTok due to some hate and banter, whatever the hell you want to call it, is AS.George, one of the best Roma fans that anybody could find on the internet, in my opinion. So, George, welcome on. Finally, great to talk to you. You're also part of the Tutto Calcio podcast, by the way, I should mention. I'll be on there tomorrow. I think you're going to be with me. So, how are you? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I'm all right. It's a long time coming, hasn't it? We've been talking about this for a minute. So now that we're on here, yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So let's start with how you started making videos or just getting interested in Italian football, specifically Roma, to start with. How long have you been making videos, or how long have you been a supporter of Roma? So yeah, just get into all of it.
Yeah. So I literally just started making videos last November. Like I was just in my room.
Not even a full year now at your point, you're saying?
Nah, not even a full year. Just in November, I just started like, like there's not many people who talk about Roma, especially the English speaking game. There's not many. So I was like, there's a gap. Why don't I just talk about it, So I started doing that. And yeah, man, it's been going all right recently, hasn't it? It's just hit 6K on TikTok. So I'm happy with that. Thank you for everyone who follows me on that. And yeah, like how did I become a Roma fan? I've always been a Roma fan. For some people that don't know, I was born and raised in Italy. Yes, my accent doesn't sound like it. I'm not from England. I just live in England. So yeah, I was born and raised in the north of Italy in the town of Vicenza. My party trick is that me and Del Piero are actually born an hour apart from each other. So that's a little funny thing I say. But so yeah, but if you're from the north of Italy, normally you support Milan, Inter, Juve, the big three. But my older brothers, we all support different teams. So my two older brothers are a Milan fan and an Inter fan. My older cousins are Juve fans. So and you know what? I have to go with the Roma boy, Totti, of course. Back then, when I was growing up, he was, of course, the guy in Italian football. It was after his prime, This a bit after us. I think I started getting into Serie A football by 2009, 2010 area, 2011 maybe.
Yeah, right at the end of the reign. So that's when it started getting shit, to be honest.
Literally, my first experience is Milan winning it with all them boys, and then
Juventus,
yes, and then Juventus domination. We're coming up though. We're gonna win one day. We're gonna win it in my lifetime. Never actually. I was never alive when Roma won the Scudetto.
Yes.
So the only thing I really remember is the Coppa Italias, the Conference League, and unfortunately the Europa League final. So that's really that's how I became a Roma fan.
Well, I mean, it's interesting in hopeful times, which I guess we could just start right into it. Rodrigo Mora finally over the line. He appeared yesterday in Italy. Fofana I haven't seen officially landed yet, but it looks like he will be getting over the line soon. I haven't really checked too much up about him. Woke up a little bit later than I wanted to this morning. But finally, honestly, it's all Italian clubs, George, that are finally getting moves over the line. You see Juve, obviously Milan had a big splash. Inter just getting Curtis Jones this morning. We're going to have Sharma on the channel tomorrow to talk about that. And obviously they got Jed Spence. So they're going with English players to add to their team. Roma looking to add more. I know Molina, obviously another addition. I think that's not the greatest of signings, but I think it'll be great for derbies if Lazio doesn't get relegated. But overall, just like your initial feelings towards these moves, I guess it's just they're not. I mean, Fofana is more of a known commodity. I like that signing. Rodrigo Mora, I don't know too much about, but obviously, if Gasperini is very interested in a young player that he wants to fit into his system, you have to back the manager. So, what are your initial thoughts on Roma's moves right now? Obviously, they will need more, but these are two of the bigger ones that have come across their table.
Yeah, so Rodrigo Mora, I'm be honest, I've only seen him play one game against Roma, if I'm correct. He did play that game, but honestly, I don't know much about him. I just don't. But my initial reaction was, this guy's Baldanzi 2.0, a short little guy that can't, he's not gonna physically dominate somebody. Could you imagine him against Bremer away at the Juventus Stadium? That's not gonna work. But I thought, because he's not really quick, he relies on his technical ability. So I thought, this is just Baldanzi again. You start seeing more highlights, look at his underlying numbers. This guy's a serious footballer. He's serious. He's like that. And I'm like, okay. I speak to a lot of Portuguese fans, Porto fans, Benfica fans. They're all saying this guy's the future of Portuguese football. So it's one of those moves where it's like, if we get it, if we wait 2-3 years, this is a £100 million player. It's £100 million player. But now we get him for let's cheapish, you could say 25 million. It's a good deal.
Sell-on clause too, so that'll typical Portuguese dealings. So you can't get away with robbery always.
Yeah, but it's one of those. It's 50% if I'm correct. So we'll get half of the thing, but I think we can buy that sell-on clause for another 25 million. So again, like you said, these Portuguese clubs, they know how to sell. They know how to sell very well. So I'm a fan of this move. Again, we've desperately needed that left-hand side strengthen. He's automatically better than Pellegrini. Like, anything's better than him again. Like, I love Pellegrini, but it's time to move on, man. Like, him going into another season, him starting that left wing, left 10 spot, it's just, no, I can't have that. And Malik Fofana, he's not officially a Roma player. It's Roma have now decided between him and Luis Enrique, and I 100% go for Fofana because I can't. No. I mean, I saw Enrique. I know Fofana looks like a serious player, but he's for me, I prefer him over Rodrigo Mora. I'm like, he's genuinely Fofana looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very strong in France. One of like the half dozen Fofanas that are pretty good at football. So I think this makes more sense for Roma to get a little bit more of an experienced player. I think they've been going down this. I know Molina falls into that category as well, but there's been a lot more of the up and coming blue chip type of talents that Roma kind of want to pounce on. I think this also could be dependent upon what happens with Sule. I think that one's a little bit more up in the air. Maybe that has a resolution towards the end of the window. Usually when Gasp doesn't like a player, he tries to force them out as quickly as possible. But he's been a little bit more decent with man management at Roma so far, because usually he just beefs with a lot of the players that are aging and a little bit past their prime, or just other players. So that's what always makes him a little bit tricky as a manager. That's kind of the thing with Roma, though, because now the standards have changed, because reaching Champions League in year one of Gasperini, I think some could argue a little bit ahead of schedule because it takes time to implement his system. But Milan Juve being bozos in 2026, and then Daniel Malin, who we'll talk about in a moment, just going on like an incredible pace. I haven't seen a player like that join in January and really tear up Serie A besides Balotelli when he first joined. But Balotelli also, like when he joined Milan at that time, there was a lot of penalty kicks being scored. Malin was open play goals, and didn't really seem like a singular opponent was too tough for him. So we'll see. Historically, like, he doesn't keep up that sort of scoring pace, but I still think he'll have a good year. What other kind of players? I know we kind of removed it for a little bit, but is there another player or two that you would want Roma to kind of go in for at this window? I think one could argue maybe midfield depth would be a little bit better because it's a little shaky. I do like the players and the starters. Pisili is a fun player. I really, really, really enjoy him. I think he's going to potentially explode this season. It depends on opportunity. But where else are you looking for Roma to kind of have additions? Because right now, I still think it's a top four competitive team. But if they want to aim higher and possibly go at Inter, there needs to be maybe one or two more additions to kind of combat them. What do you think, or what would you want?
Honestly, I think we already have a good enough team to really compete. Of course, if we can upgrade from Cristante, that's a brilliant move, isn't it? Cristante, I don't know what coach is seeing him. I don't know, but they see something in him. He is a smart player, but he just physically isn't good enough.
He's never hurt. He's just reliable. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing with him. But it's like, again, like, it's all dependent on what Daniel Malin does. Your co-host on the Milan pod, Matt, he heard what I said about Malin scoring 37 goals. I still think if anybody can break that record, it's him. It's him. Again, he needs to keep up that scoring pace he's done. But it's just if everyone can stay healthy, this is a top 4 team. Of course, if there's a singular player, I've always wanted to Jonathan Rowe of Bologna, another left winger. I know, but like I think if we can get him, Marlon and Dybala, you're looking at the best front three. Maybe outside.
But Dybala is playing how many games?
That's the
That's the
thing. Like
problem. He
that's.
doesn't play.
But if you have Dybala, if you have Sule as well, where Dybala won't have to play 38 games a season, you just won't have to. Like Sule, the only thing with Sule is just can that injury, that pubalgia injury, is it past him? Is it if it's not, then
It's tricky with a lot of these players. Yeah, I don't know. I think he could still leave to Milan anyways. I think he had 2 inconsistent seasons with Roma where he's very streaky as a player. Like when he first got to Roma, and also that's not even like his fault. That's the other thing, like contextually, like when you have Ivan Juric at that point, like in that first season, I got problem. It's hard to judge a lot of players, especially new arrivals when that's who they get, which is also why I still don't get how he got the Atalanta job at that time. But I digress there. I think we'll see maybe an exodus of players. I mean, the season also starts this weekend, which is so annoying and a little tricky for some of these clubs because maybe they do have deals lined up for other players to go to other clubs like a Sule, but that can't happen yet because the club that wants to buy that player has to offload. So that's just a big thing. But the ultimate talking point for Roma this season is that they finally qualified for the Champions League. This has evaded them for quite some time after having a great run of form within the 2010s. Obviously been very strong in Europa League and the other lesser European competitions, but they get back to a place where they made a semifinal or obviously, the huge upset over Barcelona. I still think it was ahead of schedule. To sneak in was just huge for this project, considering the financials that this club and resources they've put in for quite some time, which is pretty big for a club of their stature. The Friedkins have been great and ambitious. So qualifying is huge, but it doesn't, I don't think, necessarily make things more difficult. It's a privilege to be in the competition and compete in Serie A. It can be a little bit trickier with how it could go in the knockout stages in the second half of the year, because I think Roma definitely will be getting past the league phase. I'd be stunned if not, regardless of the draw. So qualifying for it is huge, George. Like there's zero denying it. It helps further this project that the Friedkins and Gasparini are a part of. What are your kind of expectations heading into this season? I think anything past the round of 32 is great for Roma for the first time in a few years, over half a decade.
Well, when we on the lead up to making Champions League, honestly, it didn't look like we were gonna make it. Milan was still like scamming goals, last minute goals. The Corto Muso Allegri style, Como. We lost to Como. They looked like they were gonna be good. Juventus as well. Yeah. We sneak in. Full thanks to Marlon, basically. It's just thanks to him. And honestly, going into this Champions League, I feel confident because look, the pot 1 team, they're probably gonna destroy us. Like if we get a PSG, like Real Madrid, those teams, I don't see Roma beating. But everybody else, honestly, I just don't. I'm confident. I'm confident that we can go and have a good showing against them, and that's what it is. Have a good showing, make the round of 32, and for me, I have them going all the way to the round of 16. I genuinely think that
it depends on the draw, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But even then, if we get Real Madrid in the playoff rounds, because that's what they look like, they always make it. If they make the playoff round, we get Real Madrid, we have to go away to the Bernabeu, we're done. But if we get, I don't know, Sporting, I think we can beat them. But
sure.
Like you said, it's huge getting year one, because again, it opens up financially, and you don't want to say it's too early because you can't predict the future. You don't know what's going to happen next year. Like I didn't expect Inter to strengthen this much, so you have to always just prepare, go in Champions League. And for me, it's just get to the round of 16 and I'll be happy. Anything further than that, it's heck of a season. A season for me.
It all depends on these matchups with the league phase. I think it heavily favors clubs like Roma, where I think you're more of the middle of the pack of all the teams in the Champions League. But if you get a good enough draw in the league phase, the Roma have one of the best home field advantages in all of Europe. I think
Yeah.
at the Olimpico, it's very difficult to take them down. So that's a huge plus for them. I think that'll depend on who they play at home in the league phase two and those road matchups. Gasperini is a good manager in the Champions League. He has that plenty of experience. I guess you could argue that some of the players on Roma haven't quite been at that level yet. Sure, the stars have been there. But some of like the key Italian players haven't really. I think Cristante is probably the last one. Pellegrini was a part of that Roma squad, but Cristante with Atalanta definitely played in the Champions League. I can't recall Mancini. Maybe he did with Atalanta, but he hasn't with Roma. So it's a little bit of a big jump for some players, I would say. But I think there's plenty of experience around that they could do something. I don't think it's completely out of the question to make the round of 16 again. To your point, that's just really about the draw. And if Roma gets to the round of 16, it's just huge because, listen, Milan are a joke and so are Juve, but them in the Europa League with no Champions League teams dropping back down, I think Italy and Serie A is going to have a big year in Europe. I know that's kind of unpopular for some people, but I truly do see all the four teams that qualify. Well, at Napoli, I have questions about in the Champions League, but Como, Roma, and Inter, I think will have good Champions League seasons. Juve and Milan being in the Europa League is just that's big for clubs like that. In terms of just like not facing tough teams. So we'll see. Final comments on Roma qualifying for that, and we'll get into some of the predictions for this season for them.
Yeah, like some people are saying, oh, like you said, some of these guys haven't played, like the Cristante, those guys. However, I think I'd like to rebuttal that to the point that these guys for the last 8 years have been going deep into Europe. They have, like, whether it's Europa League, whether it's Conference League, winning it. Like,
I'll give you Europa League. I can't do the Conference League stuff.
but like this team has experience of playing 2 times a week, and I understand it's
yeah,
a jump.
no. The workload. I meant more of the just the level of play is much higher. They could handle week to week. Como, it's a bigger question to kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I feel like this team will be able to handle that. Again, it is a difference between going Bilbao and Barcelona. It's a bit of a difference, but I think this team, like you said, coming to Olimpico, I'm confident we can beat anybody. Messi couldn't win here, so who's Yamal? Who's Yamal? I don't know these guys. I'm confident.
Always a jokester, bro. So we'll get into the predictions for Roma this season. Last year, I did have them top 3. Some people did not believe me because I like to try and humble some Roma fans on Twitter from time to time because they talk crazy. Some of you guys talk crazy. But obviously everybody knows my whole family are Roma fans, basically, aside my cousins. So I don't hate Roma at all. I think top 3 again is really where they're at, and the ceiling is second as of today. And we're 3 days away from the season starting. Roma play on Monday, which I don't like that nonsense. It's weird for the first match of the year, but hey, changing it up. Coppa Italia still haven't won a domestic trophy since 2008, so it's been quite some time. Gasperini, that's also something that has evaded him as a manager in Italy as well, winning that. Roma are a good cup team and have been in recent years, more so on the European side than in the domestic. So I think, George, in my opinion, a top 4 finish and a Coppa Italia lifting of the trophy would be a huge success for Roma this year. And obviously, if you can get to the round of 16 in Champions League, that's huge. I think Roma, with the talent they have and the money they put in this project with this manager, should be going all in for Coppa Italia, obviously while trying to compete on the other fronts. So for me, I have them in top 4 again, as well as, making a deep run in Coppa Italia. So where does George think Roma will end up this season across the 3 competitions?
Every year we've been saying the same thing: Coppa Italia, get the Coppa Italia. I'm desperate for that. I know Serie A teams, especially the top teams, they don't take it seriously.
Milan, it's just they're embarrassing.
Yeah, like it's seen a bit as a joke. Like Lazio pretty much forego the whole rest of the league campaign for the Coppa Italia. But I want it. I want to feel. I want that because it gives you that experience of lifting the trophy, going all the way. You know what I mean? Like, because we saw it when, again, I know you don't count it. We won the Conference League. It gave this club confidence in Europe again. Going next year. I know people don't see it. People don't people don't take it as a joke.
I would say, and I do this for Europa League and Conference League winners, you're not the champions of Europe. You cannot say that. That's all. That's the
I,
only thing I don't like. I think it's
fair.
silly.
That's fair.
Celebrate it. Have a parade. I don't care. But like you're not champions of Europe. Like you literally can't be in the third rate competition and be the shit. That's the only thing. But go ahead. Roma have been great. They've been the coefficient for Italy. It's been largely parts of what they've been able to do in Inter in the past 5 years or so. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like again, like the Conference League is seen as a bit of a joke by some fans. Like, oh, you want a Conference League? Like, if you guys were in that first year Conference League, I still stand by that. That is the toughest Conference League ever. That was a Europa League level win. Like, if you look at the teams over there, it was great. But again, it gave Roma that confidence. The very next year, anybody comes to the Olympico, you're not going to win. And we went to the final, and we all know how that final, we got robbed. Every Roma fan know we got robbed. Anthony Taylor, if I see him in real life, I'm gonna let you know my piece of my mind. But like Coppa Italia, I'm desperate for it. I want it, and I agree with you. We can win it, but it's just last year we lost to Torino because we played a 16-year-old up front. Like no one cares. Like that's the thing about it. Like,
I think that was partially due to trying for European competition. I think Roma was a bit like turbulent at the start of the year, which was normal.
Yeah.
But then you guys exploded with Malin, which is still that's part of the thing. And I know you kind of like joke about it, but you do believe in Malin. Whatever, 37 goals is like. But Gasp's system in Serie A has had players produce at ridiculous levels. I don't think at the pace that he was scoring at is going to happen again. And I know you could say that it's banter, not banter. I'm not going to blow up your spot with that. But I could easily see 20 goals from him in the league. Like, that's not something I would be like, oh, Martino, like, he has no shot at that. Come on. It was also a very weak Capocannoniere race last year. I think that was one of the worst I've ever seen. Because he was in contention after 6 months. That says a lot. But yeah, do you have question marks? You're very worried if, like, God forbid, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but he goes down and he's out for an extended period of time. Do you think Roma have enough firepower to supplement that loss?
No, we don't. But the thing is with Roma, like if we didn't have it at the beginning of the season, we didn't have him, and we were still in and around that top four. This defense is top tier in Serie A. It's Evan Ndika, Mancini. I know
that's the guy.
People don't.
Ndika's the guy. It's not Mancini. Like as defensively speaking.
Yeah. Like if I'm more worried if Ndika goes down, because if Ndika goes down, we're done. No matter who we have up front, if Ndika goes down, we're done. So that's why I'll be fine if Marlon goes down, because we also got Castro. We signed Castro this season, and Castro, I think he can give me 10 goals in all competitions, maybe in 10 in Serie A. He's gonna be a very good backup. I'm happy with it, but Marlon is not gonna go down because he is gonna score 37 goals. And win a Ballon d'Or. We know that's gonna happen. Like we all know it. The Baldy is going to do it.
I really like Castro. And some people who want to just say like, oh, 35 million is too much. And I made this point, and you made it with Rodrigo Mora. When you were a club like Roma, or just basically mostly Italian clubs, maybe not Juve, but you cannot buy the guy after he has a great season. You cannot buy a striker that is like this sort of set consensus blue chip prospect. Like Benjamin Sesko is always like a player I use as an example for this. Very talented. We know that. You can't buy him after he has his best season or breakout season, because that's out of your price range. That's Premier League price range. Those players, or even the top clubs like Real Madrid, Barca, to an extent, they're kind of broke, but PSG, Bayern, those clubs can afford that. Serie A, where Santiago Castro happens, shown flashes at Bologna, good player, like him, not exactly breakout yet or showing enough consistency. However, 35 million to put in Gasparini's system, he has a breakout then, because if he does, then he'll be worth 50 plus million this year. If Castro, to your point, gets 10 plus goals in all competitions and really is like one of the best, if not the best, backup striker in Serie A, he's worth over 50 million immediately. That's a really strong player, and I think a lot of his qualities can fit in Gasparini's system. It is still risky though, because he had some inconsistent moments, but the chance creation is going to be there with Roma. And if he's able to just finish those opportunities, I think Roma have a great duo up front. That kind of
Yeah.
remains to be seen a little bit. I would like to talk about real quick Pisili and Gilardi, because these are two really fun Italian prospect players that I think can break into the Azzurri sooner than later. Especially Pisili's kind of pretty much in that conversation and put in there because the midfield's all over the place. What do you like about these two players? And for some of those who haven't watched them, I'm big fans of them. Gilardi really impressed me in the short amount of time. But for me, Pisili is really arguably one of the best Italian players that this club has produced in quite some time. I would say over a decade.
Yeah, Pizzilli specific. Like, let's start with Ghilardi. Ghilardi, I think that, like you said, they both can break into the Italian national team. Ghilardi, I want him to get more minutes. I want him to get more minutes, man. I feel like with Mancini, re-signing of Mancini, I was happy about it. I was 50-50 on it because we got Ghilardi behind him.
Right.
And that guy, he's modern day. He's the perfect modern day centre back. And unlike that one at Inter, he can actually defend. So just that one that gets sent off in the biggest moments, but somehow it's never his fault. Ghilardi can actually defend. And Pizzilli, there's one thing, it's a thing that I heard someone talk about. It's in the basketball term, but it works. It fits in with Pizzilli so much. You can't teach motor. You can't teach somebody to just go up and down the field. You can't teach that. Or you can't teach effort.
It's a skill.
And
It's its own skill. Yeah.
And Pizzilli, every single game, as soon as he's on the pitch, he's going to give 110%. And one thing that he can back it up with that certain other players can't, is that he has a technical ability. This guy, when he's on the ball, he's so good, man. I don't see him lose the ball. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever seen him lose the ball. Like, get someone actually tackle him. I've never seen that. Because he's so tidy with it. And the only thing is for him, he has this ability to always run into the box at the perfect time. Those late runs where then he can just get that header at the end. And that's really good for him. Only thing for him now is to develop that final third play. As soon as he gets that, this guy's PC is going back to the very top, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy we didn't loan him out or transferring out, because last season there was some rumors that he was going to go to Genoa with Rossi. But no, I'm happy Gasperini played him. And you saw it when I think he was against Stuttgart. He scored a double, and Gasperini, I never seen him smile like that. I've never seen him smile, and he smiled, and he went to Pizzilli at the end of the game. He was grabbing him because he knew, and we all know that this guy is a top player. And Pizzilli, that's a future captain right there, future captain.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Both of the Italians, they need it, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily because Gilardi is just another. We don't have a great right-footed center back in Serie A. For Italians, the best is really Mancini and Scalvini. That's not a good thing at all. They're fine players. They're nowhere near the level that I think the Azzurri need. So yes, Mancini is not a good defender. I will never, ever, 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 ever want to hear it from people. If you want to say he's good for Serie A, that's fine. He's a good all-around modern center back. I will give people that because he's good technically and can score goals. And that's important in the modern game. I will say that. However, if we're talking defense, I wouldn't ever want this guy sniffing my 11. I do not want him. And then Dika doesn't get enough credit, to your point, too. And Dika's twice the defender that Mancini is, but he doesn't get anywhere near the love. That's also what irritates me because Mancini is a very very popular figure in Rome for people who don't know that. He is. My cousin has a tattoo of Mancini. He doesn't have a tattoo of Totti or De Rossi. He has one of Mancini, which blows my mind. But
that's
he does.
Crazy.
It is crazy. I don't know why he has it. By the way, I forgot to ask him. But go ahead.
I think it's because he's so expressive in his love for Roma, and I feel like I find it funny the way non-Roma fans and how Roma fans describe Mancini. I agree with you. The Mancini, he has a mistake waiting to happen in him. But one thing I think people don't credit him is that this guy's improved so much these last few years. I remember when he was under Mourinho, he was good, but if you look at him then to now, it's night and day. He is so much better than he is back then. And I feel like non-Roma fans, especially I think it's because they find him annoying, right? He is a little dirty. He is a
He is very
little,
much so. Yeah, yeah. Which is
yeah.
like
He is,
fine to admit. I don't know why people deny it. That
yeah,
annoys me. Like, come on. Like you could
yeah.
say that. He's an ass. Teo Hernandez was an
That's the
asshole.
thing.
That's
That's
fine.
the
Like
thing,
you could
man.
admit that stuff. Yeah.
Fans don't like if it's like if he was on your team, you would love him,
Of
but
course. Yeah.
when he playing against them, you hate him, of course. And that's the thing. He's just an asshole, like you said. He's just that's how he is.
You need
But
guys like
that's
that.
what. But that's the allure of him. That's why people love him, man. Because like the amount of
Yeah,
times
I
I
know.
think they played Scudetto.
Sorry, but Roma fans are very much, and I know this, it's us against the world mentality.
Mm.
Because they just love to attack. Like if things don't go their way, it's the league's against them. It's this like conspiracy larger. Like this is like true though, people. Like they think this. Like it's just, and you know how it goes, right? Northern clubs get all the favors, and it's like Roma's
They
in the
do though.
capital, bro. This isn't
They
like
do though.
Sicily.
They do
I
get
don't
their
think so.
favors.
No,
Juventus,
Roma get plenty. Roma don't get screwed in Serie A. That idea that in Italy Roma don't get things to go their way is bullshit. Like they get plenty.
I mean, the biggest screw over this decade was against Roma in the Europa League final.
But
We
I
can say
said
that.
in
Like,
Italy. Did I not say in Italy? If you
yeah,
want
yeah,
to talk
but
Europa League, that's one thing. And there's plenty of others. Juve got screwed against Real Madrid. I'm not talking about the Vasquez penalty. That was a clear penalty. Anyone who argues that is an idiot. That's like legitimately the biggest like penalty I've ever seen.
he
But
jumped him.
yeah,
He jumped him.
he literally put a knee in his back, and they're trying to tell you it's not. Predictions, George, for Roma this season. You go Serie A, Coppa Italia. We already talked about Champions League. So where do you
Yeah.
see them ending up? And then we'll go to our overall Serie A stuff.
Serie A second. I think this team can do it. I think again Inter will be champions, but Serie A will be Serie A. Roma will finish second. Coppa Italia, they can win it. They got a pretty favorable draw. They got if Cagliari win the next game, they play Cagliari. We can beat Cagliari, and then after that it's Juve. And I'm not. It's not Inter. It might be another. It's another club, but down at the bottom, I can't remember.
I could pull it up for you, but go ahead.
But yeah, so I think again, every time Roma play the big teams like Milan, Juve, and that's when they always go out. Like I don't remember the last time we made the semi-final of the Coppa Italia. I generally don't remember it.
Yeah, no,
We
I'd
always
say
go,
so. Yeah.
we always out in the quarters because that's like that. They just don't care. But again, they can win it. But semi-final Coppa Italia, and then in the Champions League round of 16. I said
Yeah.
that's
So
that.
your side of the bracket for the teams that get automatic qualification for round of 16: Roma, Juve, Atalanta, Napoli. So
Yeah,
it's you would be facing, one would think, Atalanta or Napoli in that potential semifinal if you were to get past Juve. If you face Juve, the other side of the bracket, of course, it's a gauntlet. It's like Inter, Bologna, Milan, Como. I think there's a much tougher side. Roma have a favorable path. I think they're the best team on that side. Um, so it's possible, for sure. And yeah, I don't disagree on second place. That's kind of where it's tough for Serie A predictions. I hate doing it, but we have the season coming up this weekend. I would say it really depends on the business of these other sides. For me, as of today, Inter and Roma are my two most guaranteed top four teams. I think the other spots are up in the air. Como, I have questions about. If they get Moise Kane, it changes everything, for top four for me. I think that's easier for them to handle the multiple competitions, but I still have questions. Juve, I think a full season of Spalletti does change up things in that regard, which kind of like I'll just like segue into this side of things. Milan is the biggest wild card in all of Serie A for the top clubs. I have no idea. If they finish second, I wouldn't be shocked if they made further additions. If they finish sixth again, all right, yeah, I'm not really surprised by that either. So if you want to give me your top four for what you have for the season, Scudetto winner, you could go all the way to the 7 spots because you and I did videos on that prediction model that came out where it still has Lazio rated pretty highly. For
I
whatever
don't know how.
reason, they
Yeah,
literally, by the way, only have Serie A now. There is, or are they in the Super Cup potentially because they made the final
yeah,
for Coppa
yeah.
Italia?
They'll be in that. They'll be in that.
So they'll be in the Super Coppa. Yes, George, give us your top four in Scudetto pick.
My champions will be Inter, second place Roma, third place. It's I want to go Juventus because I feel like Spalletti. There's more continuity, you know, like
Continuity.
continuity. That's the word I'm looking for. Um, there's more continuity there, and they've improved defensively massively, and they've got rid of Di Gregorio. So that's my third, and fourth is between Como, Milan, and Napoli. I want to go Napoli because Allegri, although his style of football is very outdated, he still can eke out results. And I think last season he
Yeah.
was a game or two away from getting to third place for Milan. It's his fault as well for that, but
It was
it was.
absolutely his fault. Yeah, he's
But
big time.
you can't deny it. He was there. He was pretty much a game away from
They
being
had a
top four.
crazy unbeaten run. We were
Yeah,
within like 6 or 7 points of Inter after the Derby
yeah,
victory. Then it went all downhill. But
yeah.
yeah, he's
Uh,
results based. But go ahead.
so fourth Napoli, fifth Como, sixth Milan. I don't know with Amorim. Like I feel like I said that they're gonna go further than Juventus in the Europa League, but I just don't know if Amorim now is gonna even stay full year because the expectation now has gone so much higher. Like
I think
the
he's stay. I
signings of
don't think he. That's the thing. He's not. Jerry Cardinale is not firing another manager. It's been 4 straight seasons now with a new manager at the start of the summer. He
yeah,
now was the one involved in these decisions, less so than what we've seen in recent years. Which is like a lot of nuance that even Milan fans don't understand. Like he didn't even fully have full autonomy on the club like he did in January. The vendor loan to
yeah,
basically accelerate his purchase of AC Milan changed everything, and that's where he cleared house with Ferlani and all those losers. It's still up in the air because it's like you make the argument to what you're saying about Amorim at Man United wasn't necessarily his fault, and they're always a mess over there, and it's not
mm,
always a reflection of the people there. But then you could say the same about Milan, like partially Allegri's fault for the situation, partially not. I would also
I
kind of
agree.
say that, but the expectations do change a little bit. I agree with you with the money spending. However, I'd like to say to people, they have so many holes in this 11 that still doesn't do enough. They have 2 to 3 other holes. We have no attack. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is starting match day 1 as an attacking
He
midfielder.
is. That's
So
bad.
like and I know that's temporary because Pulisic needs to come back from injury. I've been told by people that Leao may there's a good chance he stays if the offer really doesn't come in, which I'd be surprised. But that changes a lot. If it's a healthy Leao, I know how people feel about him. I still think he's a game changer. Bro, I don't
Yeah,
know. That's big question marks. It just
yeah.
is. Morera,
But
you could love him. I like
I love Mourinho. I
it's
love Mourinho.
which is I think our wingbacks are better now, the depth overall. Our right sided wingbacks aren't too bad. Morera really elevates the level on the left side. I don't love our defense. I think our defense
Yeah,
still kind of stinks. Mario Gila, big upgrade. Gabia can't be your central center back. And I've been told they've been going in for a center back in these last few days. They want a backup striker and then an attacking midfielder, basically what they're going to do. So
yeah,
that's why it's difficult to gauge where Milan is. It's going to take time for Ruben Amorim's system to work. I don't think they sack Amorim. I think a lot of those people are just freaking out. I think that's a bit much. That's not going to go down there. He's not going to pay another manager. He's not going to change it once again because people thinking that you sack a manager because he's so bad and then you bring in a new one. They had 2 managers in the year of Fonseca Conceição. They changed up on Allegri. They fired Pioli. Like, you can't once again have a new manager and then if he doesn't hit the ground running, sack him because he didn't reach your standards. You're never going to be able to hit the ground running because who wants to join your club? What kind of good
yeah.
players are you going to have? It takes
But
time.
you say that, but if Milan are eighth come January, Jerry Cardinale is getting rid of him.
No,
There's
no, he's
no
not. He's
way.
not. He's
There's
not.
no way. There's no
I've been
way.
told. I've been told by no, he's not going to. He's not going
I,
to. And I'd
I
also
just,
like to
it's
say
madness. It's madness if you don't do that. It's just madness.
no,
Like,
no, it's not. No, it's not. It's madness to sack another manager when you
I
have
agree.
6 managers in 6 years.
I agree.
That's the problem. You can't do that. And I'd like to say too, Stefano Pioli sucked when he first arrived at Milan. They were terrible. The Gasparini laughing and dancing meme where they beat Milan 5-1, That was during Stefano Pioli's era. That takes time. And when you're changing up your squad, and this is also a side that's missed top 4 back-to-back years. It's not like they're insane. They were playing once a year last year too. This takes time. They're going from a non-pressing system to what Allegri was doing. They were the worst pressing team in the top 5 leagues.
Yeah,
We all saw the stat. That's crazy. To go and do a 180 and switch up systems where Amorim is very high intensity pressing manager, that takes time. I think, but there's just so many question marks. Yashari, is he that good? I know you don't like Gonzalo Ramos that much, but it depends on how he plays. Easily better than Santi Jimenez, who got 0 goals.
Oh, yeah, it's not difficult. It's not difficult, that one. That's not difficult.
It's not. It's not. Camarda had as many goals as our strikers did last year, and he was a teenager. So
yeah,
and he was hurt for half the year. So it's tough. I think Milan are really difficult. Depends on the attacking midfielder. Depends on the next center back that they sign too. Because as of today, we don't know.
Change it. Fiorentina's 6th. Milan 7th. Milan's getting Conference League. I'm just so not
who were terrible last year and might lose their striker, so they're finishing 7th. 6th.
If they keep Moisekin. Moisekin last season didn't have a great season for his standards, especially the season before that, for scoring 18.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Moisekin for me is a top 3 striker in Serie A. He's a top 3 striker.
I love him. I love him. I think he's a great player. Absolutely.
I don't know how Milan didn't go for him. I don't know how Milan didn't go for him.
Because I think his link-up play is not at the level that Ramos is, which I think is what the difference was, and the pressing. Scoring-wise, you could say whatever you want. That's fine. I'm not really going to argue there. But as far as like a more complete player, I think it's Ramos. But Keane is awesome. Well, then why didn't Roma do it? Why didn't Roma do it?
We got Daniel Malen. But
you spent 35 million on Santiago Castro.
But I don't think Moisekin would come in to be the backup. Malen would 100% start over Moisekin.
Well, Dubicas is a beast and Como.
Yeah. And Moisekin's better than him. And that's why I think Moisekin will come to Como and beat it at number 9. Dubicas will have to drop or they're gonna have to get rid. But for me, it's like I don't want my striker to link up. Like, I know football is changing, but at the end of the day, if my striker scores 20 goals, that's better than whatever link up.
I agree with you with that. And that's why I hate the people who hate on Camarda. And I know that should shift the people are like, first of all, Camarda was playing with all backups against Chelsea, who had their main 11 in. And they're like, Camarda can't sprint 50 kilometers per hour behind the defense. It's like, show me one fucking player who does that, and show me an 18-year-old that does that. That was like, besides Mbappe and Haaland, you can't name me 2 of the greatest forwards of this century and say Camarda sucks because of that. Camarda in the penalty area is a very good movement for his age. And I don't do this comparison, and I'm not like trying to say like he'll be better than them, but he literally scored a Serie A goal before Totti and Del Piero did at that age, and it's totally different. The situations are different. They're different players. But what I'm saying is, like, you can't say a player is behind schedule and he sucks if he's like doing something. He showed you something. I don't. And for Lecce too, bro. Like, I'm sorry, the Lecce. And I know I'm making this about Camarda for a second. Lecce sucked ass. I'm sorry. I hate anybody that like wants to say a teenager sucked on the worst creative team in the league. If you watch Lecce play, they're the worst. I want them to get relegated, by the way. So if we want to talk about a team, I can't stand them.
They have to go. They have to go. But like I said, I agree. Like, we both agree. Like, scoring goals is outweighs so much more link up play. Like, Evan Ferguson was a better link up player than Daniel Malen. I'm sorry, he was, but Evan Ferguson could have scored 5 goals. Daniel Malen gave me 18. Like,
I think Ramos isn't. I think you're right. What I didn't like about the Ramos money was that, like, you have to guarantee 20 goals.
Yeah.
Maybe he does in all competitions. Maybe we're all being too harsh. It's tough to break in front of Dembele. I will agree with people with that. It's just the fee. It's the fee number. It's not necessarily the player. And when you have that number, which is now the Serie A record, I think it beat Vlahovic and Lukaku's purchase record with Inter. The pressure's on, as you say. Like, you can't. But the other thing is, like, he scores 1 goal, he's already better than the guy last year. So, like, it's like a funny situation. I
Yeah.
cannot believe it. That's the other thing, though, too, where Milan and Roma are 2 clubs. It's like, is Malin's 6 months repeatable? Probably not. But also, is Milan's awful striker situation repeatable? Probably not. That's why, like, it's a little weird. I think Gasparini's system's more solid and proven in Serie A, which is why you can go off of that better than Emerim. Juve, though, I do have questions for you.
Yeah.
Brother, I don't get their striker situation exactly. I don't think it's that good. I still, if you told me it's Vlahovic, Kolomouani, and Anas Noir, I believe is the other guy. Or
Jonathan David.
Jonathan David's still there. That's right. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's arguably the worst striker group out of the top teams. It's arguable. I don't trust them. I trust Spalletti. Yildiz doesn't look healthy, George, to me. I keep saying this. I'm not sure if he's 100%. He had a terrible World Cup. He was bad the last few months of the season, too.
Yeah.
Juve have question marks up front. I don't know.
Like, I think the Juve have question marks, but the thing is, not as much as me, because not as much as Milan now and Napoli, because Spalletti plays a more positive style of football. Spalletti's last season, we saw Spalletti, it somewhat works. It will create chances, and the thing is, right, with Yildiz, if Yildiz can come back healthy, that instantly puts him like a top 4 contender. Like, because last season he was incredible to start off the year.
He was MVP contention before he.
Yeah, he was my MVP. Yeah. He was my MVP before. Him and Nico Paz were my MVPs before that, before literally halfway through the season. But that's the thing with Yildiz. If he can stay healthy, I don't care who's up front, they're probably going to score some goals, because Kenan Yildiz single-handedly...
Well, he's drifting more. He's going to be like a central guy this year, though, because Alabegovic should be on the left side, but he's also a teenager, which is like a bit. I think that's something people are getting carried away with, thinking he's going to be starting and making impact immediately as a teenager.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen, but Boga might get more time. I like Boga. Boga was fine. That's how shitty Serie A is. Boga came back and looked good. I think there's question marks like Bremer. How healthy is he? Juve and Spalletti, again, he always has these stretches in Serie A where his teams just flop. Like, he always in March, Spalletti teams, you know this as a Roma fan and just obviously watching the league, like, he has that time period where they slip up. We saw it again last year. I think the biggest thing is, like, there's no Tudor to start the year for a couple months to screw things up. And I think that's a big thing with Juve. Napoli, I have questions for. So we agree Allegri is going to get you results. Will they look good doing them? There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I love their midfield. I love Anguissa, Lobotka. Those guys are beasts. The defense is like, they're going to be compact, organized. I don't think they will concede much. Offensively, George, convince me why Napoli is a guarantee for top 4. That's why
because this is the best team he's had since those late 2010s Juve sides. This is the best team he's had.
That doesn't say much, but yeah. Offensively, though, I like Højlund.
Yeah, even offensively, like, no, Højlund, no, Højlund. Alisson Santos there. Alisson Santos.
I like Santos and Neres. I like those two.
Neres as well. Like, this is the best offensive unit he's had since those Juve teams. Which, again, those Juve teams blow this team out of the water. But this is still a
offensive system.
Yeah, like if you look at the players he has, like Alisson Santos, Vergara, Højlund last season scored 12 goals, if I'm correct, in Serie A. You would hope he scores 15 or so or goals. I don't expect it, but I still think this team is too good offensively for Allegri to do his same thing. Because I think last season the only reason he played Leao and Puccio up front by himself was because he had no number 9. Like, he had Füllkrug, and he very quickly saw Füllkrug, Santi Jimenez, and Nkunku. They're just not good. I think he
not in that position. It made no sense.
Exactly,
it was bad.
But so I think I agree that when Milan fans are saying, "Oh, play out the wing, play Puccio to the wing," you're stunting them. But if you ask Allegri right now, like, who am I gonna play number 9? Like, who am I actually gonna play number 9 for to go play 4-3-3 more offensive football? I think Milan definitely could have done that, but they didn't have the number 9 to do it. So Napoli, he has the 9. He has Højlund, and he has I'm not gonna say Lorenzo Luca. He's awful. And they're looking like they might get Gabriel Jesus. So,
which I don't get why Napoli would want to buy an injury prone player.
yeah,
I think if obviously healthy on the pitch, Gabriel Jesus can still contribute. Bro, like that is like the most injury prone player in Serie A immediately. Like I think
yeah,
Dybala would play more games than Gabriel Jesus. No joke.
yeah,
And that says
yeah,
something, I think.
yeah. But that's the issue. That's the issue with Gabby. But when Gabby plays, he's better than Hoyland. Gabby play, and
I
they're
mean,
looking
listen, Hoyland is a great athlete, inconsistent finishing. His link up play,
very,
like it's improving. So I think the Manchester United move for his career was one of the dumbest things a player could have ever done. I think that stunted his growth. And then going with Conte, I think he had a good year. It's just you're now with Allegri's. This is the ultimate argument, by the way, too. I've said this. We're coming full circle on the Allegri versus Conte argument now, where Allegri took over a great Conte side in Serie A, where he got more resources and better players and still did very well and did deeper Champions League runs. Now he's taking over Conte's Napoli. How can he do? I think Conte is far and away a better manager in Serie A. I think Allegri still gets plenty of results that will keep them in top 4 contention. I'm just not sold by their business this summer. I think they had a bad summer for business on paper. It's not done yet.
yeah.
So there was links to Nicholas Jackson, which would change my mind drastically for them if they were able to do that. But
yeah,
bro, they're questions. I think last team real quick that I want to talk about. Sorry, go ahead. You had another.
No. That's it. That's it. I don't. No, that's it. You can carry
And
on.
here's your limelight here. Gennaro Gattuso and Lazio already eliminated from Coppa Italia. George, in the prediction model, somehow, some way, Lazio are predicted 7th, which I don't think they're better than Atalanta, Bologna. I don't get it. Okay. How soon does Gattuso get sacked? I said he wouldn't make it to Halloween on the Kicks and Picks podcast. That seems like I gave him too long.
Yeah.
Brother, they're
7
not
games. 7 games. 7 games. Lotito will very quickly realize that this. Lotito's a terrible owner, by the way. We all know
he's
this,
awful.
right?
He's awful, yeah.
But even I don't think he will very quickly realize, wow, this is really bad. Like, he's really like the whole Gattuso thing. I don't get what was the thought process of it. Like, this guy went from failing to beat Bosnia, saying he's never gonna coach in Italy. He's not gonna live in Italy.
He's gonna move, yeah.
To move to the capital, the capital city. What is he doing here? This guy, I don't know. I don't know what Lotito was doing. And thank you. Keep it for the.
Yeah, I know.
Keep him all season, because that's gonna be 6 points, easy 6 points. But I remember I heard Sean on the Lazio World Talk. He's gonna bring Grinta. Yeah, the Grinta. He's gonna bring the Grinta. But I'm like, what? The fuck is the Grinta if your team is just not good? What is it? So you bring in a team that's not good and you bring in a manager that's even worse. It's a recipe for disaster. So shout out to Lotito, man.
Broke. The fans aren't showing up. Lotito's losing more money. The league had to intervene, by the way, on the Fratesi deal to make sure it was able to go through, because they're that bad of a situation. And Lotito, and this is why I keep on telling Lazio fans every time they get angry at me, and this is why I cannot. Listen, my uncle's also a Lazio fan. He tried to be the black sheep in the family, where everybody was Roma fan, and he's like, I'll be a Lazio, right? That's why he's a Lazio fan. It's so funny. But you cannot tell me just because he wiped away debts from over 20 years ago, you could still love Lotito to this day. He is, without a doubt, I think, one of the biggest antagonists in Italian football when it comes to owners in the league. He's working against everybody, and he's torpedoing the value of Lazio, where he could have sold them for a decent amount. And it looks like Torino also might get sold at the end of this year too. I think Cairo was kind of alluding to that. This guy's a joke, and it's an embarrassment what he's done to once was a respectable club. Right now, I think they're a mess. What he's done is just been terrible. And the fans are all right to not show up, and I really feel for them. I know you might not, but because I would love to see Inter like this, because they've been ahead of us for so long. This is a joke, and what he's doing is ruining this. And if you can't pay for Davide Fratesi, what else do you need to know?
Yeah, the worst thing you could say about a rivalry, a derby, right, is you don't like. I remember when I was last season, right, the second game where Roma needed to beat Lazio to get Champions League football to be in contention. All right, I was
Right.
on live and I was saying, "This gonna be an easy win. It's an easy win." That's the worst thing you can say about a rivalry. When you can
Right.
walk into one of the most hostile derbies, one of the most hostile games in
Right.
Italian football, or probably the most hostile
The
game in
world. The
hostile
world.
football,
Yeah.
genuinely, and you can be like, "We're just gonna go there and beat them." Like it was that simple. And people were like, no, it's still a derby. No, no, no. Look at that latter side and genuinely tell me in what universe do they beat Roma? That red hot Roma, the way they were. Like, I don't remember. Like, the last time they beat us was like 2023. Like, it's been almost three,
They're
4 years.
not there, and they had a great run for their team's
Yeah.
history with Inzaghi and Tade and Immobile. Like those were really good teams. We all know that. Luis Alberto. Um, this is just a shadow of it because this is also shows who was the brains and operation behind it. It's one of the best Italian managers and Inzaghi and Tade, very well respected director. Listen, unfortunate that what's going on right now with his career and what happened at Milan. It's not his fault entirely, but I heard things, but whatever. So yeah. If there is a team, real quick, last topic, and then I'll let you plug yourself again, George. If there is a team that could upset and win the Scudetto this year, who do you think that is to take down Inter? Because I think Inter, I agree with you, they're going to be the first repeat winner since Juve. The other times they almost repeated, George, like they literally lost on the final match day. So, where do we stand with the potential competitors? I think if Como were to actually get Moise Kean, they catapult themselves in that conversation. Maybe if Roma do some business, I don't know. Those are my two. I don't think the Juve, Milan, and Napoli's will be competing. I think the Como or Roma would have a better opportunity. Who do you think could possibly supplant Inter?
It's Roma. It has to. It has to. I don't like to. I don't like to.
That's
Say it
okay.
out loud like that because I know Dom from Tutakacha is gonna watch this and he's gonna bring it up. But I think Roma can. They can win the title to an extent, but everything has to go right. Like Inter have to have a really poor season or like a really inconsistent season for them to win it because I think they're
Right.
the runaway favorites without shadow of a doubt. Como as well, and the outside shot, I know I had them fourth. Is Napoli. It's Napoli. I think
Really?
I know Allegri. It's all on Allegri. If Allegri now plays positive football, where they're gonna be where they're gonna go at the teams, Napoli's gonna be a shout because they got the team. I think this Napoli team, as what we see, like the structure of it, is no more than a second or third best team than in Serie A. Some as before Inter this summer, before Inter did the transfer windows, the transfers they might have been the best team because last year I had them as the runaway favorites to win. Antonio
Right.
Conte's system just had them like 55 billion injuries,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why. But this Napoli team can do it, but it's all on Allegri, and that's the only thing why I don't think Napoli can come close because of Allegri.
Yeah. It's tough. I don't know. And that's also grinding out results. It was tough. Like Milan were scamming results. Napoli better squad on paper, you could argue, but it just didn't work with Allegri's philosophy in the squad. And it's interesting. We'll see. But George, I appreciate you, brother. It was finally great to link up and chat like this because obviously we always just went tit for tat on TikTok. And again, you're great on TikTok. You're ascending. And for those who don't know, this is like Eden Zagrova's number one hater, and why you're literally you've gotten like close to 2,000 followers the past like what 10 days or something. Like I just saw
Yeah,
you were like, oh, thanks for 5,000, and then the next day I look and it's 6K. So you're doing
yeah.
great. I'm very happy for you. You're wildly
Thank you.
entertaining. You're part of why Serie A is getting more and more fun when it comes to content creation. So I was very happy to have you on today, and I know we always wanted to link up about that. So please plug everything as far as your content goes and where people can follow you.
So it's all the same. AS.George 7 on YouTube and on TikTok. That's where you can see me more. That's where I post. And this season, hopefully, Roma do well. And You got tree. Oh, if we do bad, you can see me crash out like we did against Bologna. But
You
so
go live often on TikTok, by the way.
yeah, I go live often. So if you want to talk to me, I'll be on live more often than not. Especially in big games, I will be discussing it. I'll be doing watch along. So that's where you can talk to me. Appreciate you
All
having me
right.
there.
Yeah, of course, brother. Of course. I love it. And guys, you can follow me at Martino Puccio on Twitter, at Martino Puccio everywhere else. Again, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to that Milan podcast. Tune into Tutto Calcio tomorrow. George and I will be on there tomorrow night. I think we got Alex Rafa and some other people down, Mapuzzo, obviously. And I think Gio runs it as well. So I'll get everybody's names down tomorrow. But definitely go and subscribe. Check that out. Tomorrow on the channel, Uncle Sharma coming on to discuss Inter, a little similar to the format we did today. George and I did go over a little bit more than I thought would happen, but hey, there's nothing wrong with a good conversation. So we appreciate all of you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.